Hello Year 8. Today we're going to start a new topic and it's about where our food comes from. And we're going to look at how our food gets from where it's grown to our plates. So today we're going to look at food miles. So food miles is the amount of miles food travels to get from where it's grown to our plate. So I'm going to show you how to make fajitas, and to make fajitas I'm going to use a variety of vegetables, some chicken, a fajita mix and some tortillas. Right, so first of all, the vegetables I'm using. You need an onion. Right, so I've got a brown onion. This onion is grown in England. It's grown in Suffolk, so it comes from the southeast of the country. So it hasn't travelled that far, maybe 150 or so miles. I've got a courgette, which has come from Spain. So that will have travelled probably about 1,000 miles if it comes from mainland Spain, a bit further if it's come from the Canary Islands. I've got some green beans, which are from Zimbabwe, which is in Africa. So they've probably travelled upwards of about 3,000 miles. And a pepper, which has come from Holland. The Dutch grow lots of vegetables out of season because they grow them in vast greenhouses the size of football pitches, that they keep warm, the right humidity and the right amount of light, and they produce lots and lots of vegetables out of season. So when you look at my vegetables alone, they've probably travelled around 4,000 plus miles to get here. Okay, right, so first thing you need to do is you need chicken. I've used a breast of chicken and I've put it into a mixing bowl and I've coated it with this fajita seasoning mix, and I've actually only used half a pack. So you don't, if you can either make double the amount I'm making, or you can keep it if you seal it for a later date. So put that to one side and leave that to carry on marinating and prepare your vegetables. So first thing you need to do, obviously make sure all your vegetables are washed and your hands are washed, and then cut off both ends of your courgette, and then I'm going to cut it in half. I'm only going to use half at the moment, and I'm going to cut it down. So I'm just taking off strips, quite thin strips of the green outer skin, probably about about half a centimetre thick. And I'm going to then just get rid of that because I don't like that, it goes a bit too soggy and wet. And then I'm going to cut the vegetables into strips. Now when you're cutting vegetables like peppers and courgettes, if you cut them from the inside out, they're actually much easier to cut. What you need to do is make sure all of these strips are equal in size, because you want them to cook at the same rate. Okay, and then just put them to one side. So obviously the amount of food miles our food travels will have an effect on the environment. So if we can eat foods which are produced in this country as local to where we live, that's the better really. Right, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut your onion. So think about onions, they grow in the ground like that. That bit there that's stringy is the root. Always leave that on. Turn it onto one side and then peel it. And you want to take off all the brown skin plus any skin underneath that is discoloured and it looks dry. Okay, it don't matter if it's a little bit green, but if it's brown or yellow and it doesn't look very nice, if that there's a bit dry, so take that off so that you've got an onion that's not really got any blemishes in it, and that will cook better. If it's dried out, it'll be a bit tough. Right, so then what you do is you wash your onion. Two reasons really. One, it's been growing in the ground, and two, when you cut into the onion you'll see all this liquid, and it's that liquid that irritates your sinuses and it makes you cry. Right, so I've already, so if you then cut down the middle of that root, okay, and you're going to have two halves and you're going to slice those. I've already prepared an onion and I've washed it, so I'm going to use that. The green beans are really easy to use. You literally just cut off the tops and then you turn them around and you cut off the bottoms. And if you just use your knife and just do you'll get them all. You'll be able to do them all at once. Okay, so as I was saying, food travels different amounts of miles to us, and the bigger the further it travels, the greater the impact it has on the environment. Right, your pepper, what you do, this is the way I prepare pepper. So if you cut down the side, and you can see the inside of the pepper, you can then cut round all that core that you don't want, and you end up with pepper that's got no seeds or very little seeds in, and then slice that into thin strips. Okay, again keeping it about the same size as the other vegetables that you've done. So the greater the number of miles, the bigger the effect on the environment. So what we really need to do is try to source locally. But sometimes you have to buy food from abroad. So for example, at the moment, you can't buy English grown or produced peppers or courgettes or cucumbers. So we have to import those from abroad. But if we can look at where they come from and try and minimise the amount of miles that they're travelling, that will be, for the greater good. Right, so you've now got all your vegetables ready to make your fajitas. So what you do first is you're going to put your chicken into a frying pan, and you're going to fry that for about 5 minutes. Okay, and after 5 minutes, you're going to add your vegetables. Okay, so I'm going to just show you one that I've already done, rather than wait 5 minutes and then another 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, add your vegetables, and then cook those for another 5 minutes, but just make sure that the vegetables are still slightly crisp. You don't want them soggy, and don't let them burn. Don't have it on a high heat because of the mixture, the fajita mixture. It's got starch in it, and sometimes it has sugar in, so it has a tendency, if you have it on a high heat, to burn. So be very, very careful. So after you have done that, you will then have, just move that, a mixture that looks like this. Okay, and that's the mixture you're going to use to produce your fajitas. So just give me a minute to move these out of the way. So you need some tortilla wraps, and this will fill about 4. I've already done a couple before. So what you're going to do is you're going to divide the mixture onto your wrap, making sure that you've got a good mixture of your vegetables. Put them down the middle. This is actually cool, this mixture, so I can handle it. And then if you fold up from the bottom, turn it round and fold it over, and then roll it, and then you pop it into a dish. Okay, so they are ready to eat now, or if you want, you can heat them up later. If you wanted to, you could add a tin of tomatoes that you've maybe spiced up with a little bit of chilli, pour that on top of them and grate some cheese over the top, and then bake them in the oven, and you've got enchiladas. Okay, so let's do one final one to fill the space up. Okay, so remember, fold up from the bottom, turn a quarter of a turn, fold over and wrap as tightly as you can, and make sure that the seam, the join is on the bottom. Okay, so that's fajitas for today.